everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And today we're going to take a look at the new FIGMA Avengers movie Captain America figure from Max Factory and the Good Smile Company. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now, first thing you'll notice when you open it up and take it out of the packaging is that this figure comes with quite a few accessories. So before we really start looking at the figure, let's just go over all the accessories that this figure comes with. So first of all, you'll see it has two closed-fisted hands that come attached to the figure when you first open it. Besides that, besides the two closed-fisted hands, this figure comes with a total of 9 other hands. And so it's actually gives you this kind of cool little holder for the hands. Well, all the hands except for the 2 that are attached. And then there's an extra hand. I don't know why this one didn't get to be attached to the little hand holder, but it's a pointing finger hand, which is actually separate from all the other hands. But you'll see the hands, you know, they've got some nice little detailing on the sculpting for the gloves, blue on the underside and red on the top of the gloves, which look nice. He's got 2 hands that are basically, they look like almost like saluting hands, though the figure, you can't really pose him in a good saluting pose. And really what these hands are for are to hold the shield that he comes with. Like if you wanted him to grip the shield, not by the straps, but just like to hold the shield itself. That's basically what these hands are for. You can kind of slide the shield in between his fingers and his thumb. Then he's got 2 hands that basically they're not completely closed. They you know, basically for holding the straps of the shield. He's got 2 other hands which are very similar, but they're a little tighter as far as you know, their grip. And then he's got 2 wide open hands. Besides the hands, he also comes with an extra little peg piece that fits, basically, that attaches the fist to the arm. And this is just like an extra one, I guess, if you lose it. Lose one of the ones that it comes with. He comes with his shield, and the shield has removable straps, and we'll go over that in just a moment. And then he comes with this little device that you use to move the pupils in his head, and again we'll go over that feature in just a few moments. And then finally he has a little instruction booklet with a bunch of writing you can't read, but it shows you like all the fists that he comes with, and it shows you the instructions on how to get him to hold a shield and how to move the pupils in the head. And then he comes with a FIGMA figure stand. And finally he comes with this little Ziploc FIGMA bag, I guess, to hold all the accessories, which is nice. It says FIGMA, and I guess you can label it if you wanted to. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so this figure stands just about 6 inches tall, maybe just a hair below 6 inches, but it's basically a 6-inch scale figure. However, I should note that he's actually taller or smaller than the Hasbro 6-inch Captain America movie figure. You see significantly, but the Hasbro figure is a little taller than 6 inches, so this figure is actually much closer to actually being 6 inches. Now I don't have the FIGMA Thor figure, but here, just for a size comparison, here he is next to the Hasbro movie Thor, Avengers Thor figure, and you see Thor is, you know, definitely taller, but I kind of think that works because Thor should be taller. Here is with one of the Hasbro Iron Man movie figures, and again Iron Man is a bit taller, but I think the scale works for the most part. And then just for one more comparison, here he is next to the Reveltech Mark 42 Iron Man figure, And again, the Revoltech's a bit taller. So, as I mentioned before, this figure has the ability where you can move the pupils on the figure's head. You don't typically see that with a 6-inch or smaller scale line. You know, you see it sometimes with the higher end 12-inch figures like Hot Toys and stuff, but this is the first time I've seen it with a 6-inch scale figure. It's an okay feature. I usually just keep the eyes looking straight out. But basically what you want to do if you want to move the pupils is you can remove the front of the face of the figure, and it just kind of clicks in. And then you'll see there are these little pegs on the eyeballs. And so what you do is you take this little tool that they provided with you, or provided with the figure, and you just kind of, there's a hole on the end of it, and so you just kind of use it to move the pupils. So you can have him looking sideways or up or down or however you wanted. So again, it's kind of a cool little feature. It gives you just a little added, realism for the figure. Okay, so the overall look and detail of this figure I think is very nice. I think FIGMA has done or Max Factory has done a good job with this FIGMA figure, capturing the overall look and feel of the Chris Evans Captain America from the Avengers movie. Definitely, I think it's the most realistic looking figure in this scale, or even the smaller scales. Hot Toys with their 12-inch scale line, I think, did a good job. But definitely, this figure looks nicer than the Hasbro 6-inch figure based on Chris Evans. And just some really nice detailing with the sculpting to capture the overall look and feel of the suit, especially like with the boots. He's got some nice tread designs on the bottom of his feet. I think the gloves look pretty good. Okay, so the figure comes with a figure stand like all the FIGMA figures do, and it's pretty nice. It's got a base, a clear plastic base, and then a clear plastic rod with multiple points of articulation down at the bottom, in the middle, and then up towards the top. And you can do it, basically it's got hinge joints essentially. You can rotate it at the bottom, and then you can rotate it, kind of turn it at the very top. You can't turn it in the middle at all. It just goes up and down in the middle. And so basically what you do is you just take this little peg at the end and you plug it into the hole in the back of the figure. So, and then you can basically get him in running poses and jumping poses, or just plain standing. Now, one thing I'll note is that the little peg piece on the stand is at kind of an angle, and again, you can turn that so you can have it kind of up angled or down angled, but you can also remove that very top piece on the stand, and you can see there's another peg, and that peg will actually fit in the back as well. So if you want a more straight peg for the stand for certain poses, you can do that as well. I mentioned before, the figure has multiple interchangeable hands, and basically all you do to change out the hands is you just pull them off. The hands are attached with these little pegs, and like I said before, you get an extra one of these, and then you just take whatever hand you want to do and you plug it in. So as for the shield on this figure, the shield looks really nice. So nice detail with the paint apps. You've got the metallic red, silver, and blue, and the little line work on the star like you see with the movie version. And then even on the back, it looks very much like you see in the movie with the leather straps and the unpainted metal on the back. So I like the way the shield looks, but unfortunately he does not hold his shield very well at all. And the reason for that is with these straps, they've made the straps so they're actually removable. They just kind of fit into these little grooves on the shield, but they don't stay very tight. They don't hold in very tight. And so whenever you're moving the arm of the figure around at all, these little straps will just basically pop right off. And so again, he just does not really hold the shield very good at all. And it's actually very frustrating when you're trying to pose him with the shield and stuff. So anyway, to get him to hold the shield, you've got to use one of the more open-fisted hands. so that he can grip the smaller strap. And you want to take the larger strap first and have it basically over his arm. Now, I found the easiest way to do this is to basically kind of put the smaller strap in his fist first, and then once you have him holding the strap, then to try and kind of maneuver it so it clips into the shield. And you got to be careful, because as you're trying to move the small one to clip in, you'll have a tendency to knock the bigger one over his arm off. But basically, once you get them both strapped in, then he holds the shield like that. But again, you got to be careful, because when you start moving the arm around, bending his arm at the elbow and stuff, those straps will have a tendency just to pop right off. The other thing I'm not terribly happy about with the shield is that they've given it no way for it to attach on his back. You know, one of the things I like to do with my Captain America figures is have him hold the shield on his back, like you often see him do. And unfortunately with this shield, there's no way to do that. The straps won't fit around his shoulders, and there's no peg or anything to fit on his back. So there's no way to hold the shield on his back, unfortunately. Now, if you do have like the Marvel, the Hasbro Captain America movie figure, you could probably get that one on his back using the straps, or even like a Marvel Universe one with that had those elastic straps. You know, this shield's a little bit smaller than the one he comes with, but it'll actually fit on it around his, you know, those elastic straps will fit on his shoulders, and it looks pretty good on his back. So if you have one of those other Captain America figures, you can possibly use those shields. So the articulation on this figure is pretty decent for the most part. If you're familiar with FIGMA figures, then you probably know what to pretty much expect. You know, all the joints are basically attached with those little peg ball joints. So some of the joints do have a tendency to kind of pop off when you're moving them around. The head has some down movement and looks left and right. Doesn't have a whole lot of up movement, unfortunately. I would have liked to seen the head to be able to look up more. He can look straight ahead, but that's about as up as he gets. A little bit of a pivot, but no real up movement. Shoulders, again, those ball joints. So he's got good rotation for the most part. Now this chest piece, as I mentioned before, is a separate piece. Kind of hides the joint where the upper body meets the midsection body. And as you're twisting the arm, you know, the joint can kind of come exposed a little bit more. So, you know, depending on what poses you put him in, the more some of those joints will show up. Then again, with the elbows, same kind of ball joints. So you can bend his elbow pretty good there. And then same with the wrists, and you can rotate the wrist, and he's got some up and down movement. But with the way the glove is sculpted, it really kind of prohibits him from being able to put his wrist up, basically just down and straight ahead. He's got rotation at the chest and has pretty good up and down movement there, because that piece that covers it is just a soft rubber material. Then again at the waist, which again the waist is just connected with a ball joint. And then this midsection, you know, his crotch piece is actually a soft piece of rubber. So if you pop the legs off, you can actually remove that and see it's just soft rubber. And then you can see that the legs are just attached with ball joints. Now I will say that, you know, sometimes when you're posing the figure around, that midsection can kind of move and ends up looking crooked, so it can kind of be a pain. And then the legs have a tendency to pop off a lot of times when you're moving and posing it around as well. So that's a little bit of an inconvenience, but they just pop right back on. Now he can do the splits pretty good, do his leg forward pretty good, and then back. And then he's got those weird joints And again, those are probably the worst looking joints from the back there at his knee. But he can bend his knee pretty good. He's got good bending at the knee. No swivel there at the knee though. And then he's got ankle pivots. You can't turn the ankle too much. I mean, you can, but it looks kind of funny when you turn the ankle, but he does have that ankle pivot. And then there's no peg holes on the bottom of either feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I think the detail and look of this figure is really nice. Like I said, for this scale of figure, I think it's probably the nicest Captain America movie figure we've gotten to date. The downsides to this figure are that he doesn't hold his shield worth of crap, unfortunately. You can't put the shield on his back. And then the other downside to this figure is it is a little bit on the pricey side. It is an imported figure, so it's probably going to cost you in the neighborhood of 60 or 70 bucks. So it's definitely a bit expensive. You know, I'm a huge Captain America fan, so I definitely wanted to add this one to my collection. I don't know if I'm going to get all the Avenger FIGMA figures just because they're so expensive, but I definitely wanted to get Cap. He comes with, you know, a lot of different interchangeable hands, which is nice. And then, like I said, the biggest plus to this figure is just the overall detail. I think is the nicest so far for this scale of figure. Definitely nicer looking than the Hasbro one. But then again, you're also paying a lot more for it as well. This figure is available at specialty shops and online e-tailers like Big Bad Toy Store. So if you want to pick it up, you can order it now. And that's my review. I hope you like it. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the figure, the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll check you later.